recordings with the Brooklyn Park Police, Jay Strobel, and what's happened is James Campbell filed a criminal complaint for the theft of tens of thousands of dollars, and in the police report...
To stop you right now.
What?
We have been instructed to not get involved with this and that you need to deal with this through the legal process.
What does that mean?
That whatever you decide you're going to do legally, that's fine, but I am not to be involved with this as a city council member. This is not my job.
It's not your job. It's not your job to deal with misconduct of public officials, correct?
Correct, because this is not... We've already been instructed about this what's going on, and if you decide to go on a legal process, that is your thing. That is not my place to get involved.
So you're not going to do an administrative investigation for your James Strobel or Jay Strobel and your Craig Envaldson, who are misusing public resources to illegally withhold readily available free electronic public information. That's what you're telling me.
That we have been instructed to not get involved in this.
Today is Monday, the 27th of November. I'm about to call City Council member Richie Gates.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Gates?
Excuse me?
Is this Mr. Gates?
This is his mother. Can I help you?
Yes, I would like to speak to Mr. Gates, the City Council member for Brooklyn Park.
He's at work right now.
I was under the impression that this was his work number.
Well, he's at his regular job right now. This is his city council number. How about you want to leave him a message?
I left a message with him last Friday, and I didn't get a call back because it was just before the Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, he's been out of town, too. He just got back late last night, and he's off to work this morning, so he probably hasn't even looked at his messages.
Oh. Well, could you take a message for him, please?
Sure, just a second. Let me get paper here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is James Campbell.
Okay.
And my number is 612-715-5116.
Okay.
And I'm calling to leave him a message that the Brooklyn Park Police is illegally aiding and abetting in a theft by my attorney. I had the tune of 2 checks for $14,000 that were cashed at the U.S. West Bank, and that totaled amount out to $28,000. I haven't gotten any help from this investigator, Mrs. Janetta Brown. Mrs. Brown just what she basically did was she interviewed the attorney as if though he was the victim. So I wanted to find out. Excuse me?
Go ahead.
So I wanted to find out if Mr. Gates could assist me on this here. I see he sits on some serious commissions and some serious boards.
Well, right now the only board he sits on is the city council. That's all he sits on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the liaison to some other council or some other of the commissions, but he only is a council member.
Yeah, I see he's got this EDA commission. But ma'am, could you please have him? I left a message with this number before, and I don't know if he checked the message because this is the message. This is the number that I left that message at.
Okay, he, like I said, he's at work today. Then he has a meeting right after work, and then they have a city council meeting tonight. So he's not going to be getting back to you today.
Oh, so then maybe I should go to the city council member meeting tonight.
Well, he left the house this morning at 8 o'clock, and he's not going to be home until after midnight tonight. So, if he gets a chance to call you back, I'll give him the message.
Okay.
But I would expect it would be today.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm now about to call Brooklyn Park City Councilwoman Lisa Jacobson.
Sorry, Lisa Jacobson is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mrs. Jacobson, this is Mr. James Campbell, and I'm calling you on this Monday, November the 20th, 27th to be correct. I'm returning my call back to you in reference to a Brooklyn Park police aiding and abetting in an illegal theft of $28,000, money that's belonging to me. I would like to hear back from you, City Councilwoman Mrs. Jacobson, ASAP. I left a callback number. Thank you.
Sorry, Mark Matta is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mr. Mark Matter, this is Mr. James Campbell. I'm calling back today on this Monday, November the 27th. I'm still trying to get some help in this Brooklyn Park Police aiding and abetting in an illegal theft of the tune of $28,000 that was cashed at U.S. West Bank. I'm still waiting to hear from one of my good council members. Still waiting.
Hi, this is Bob Maida. I'm not available to take your call right now, so please leave a detailed message after the tone. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mr. Maida, this is Mr. James Campbell. I'm calling in concerns with an issue that I have with the Brooklyn Park Police. They are aiding and abetting in an illegal theft of the tune of $28,000. The money was cashed at the U.S. West Bank, and the information is being illegally withheld from me by the Brooklyn Park Police Department Detective Janetta Brown. I left my callback number. Still waiting to hear from you. I'm now calling City Council Member Terry Parks.
Sorry, Terry Parks is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mr. Terry Parks, this is Mr. James Campbell. I'm calling you for the second time right after the holiday. Sorry I missed you. I'm calling in regards to an illegal aiding and abetting by the Brooklyn Park Police Department, specifically Detective Investigator Janetta Brown. Mrs. Brown is aiding and abetting my attorney who had stolen $28,000, 2 checks to the tune of $14,000 apiece. And I haven't heard anything from Mrs. Brown, and she's purposely closing the case. So if you would give me a call and see what we can do about this matter. Thank you, Mr. Parks. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
The call is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mrs. Susan Fong, this is Mr. James Campbell. I'm calling you for the second time as well to bring you to your attention that the Brooklyn Park Police Department, especially Janetta Brown, is aiding and abetting in an illegal theft of the tune of $28,000 that were 2 checks in the sum of $14,000 apiece, and those checks were cashed at U.S. West Bank. Now, I haven't gotten back or heard anything back from Mrs. Brown, and I believe she's closing the case, and I need a little bit more information and closure to this problem because there's something doesn't smell right. Today is November the 22nd. The time is 1:54. I'm about to call Brooklyn Park City Councilwoman Lisa Jacobson.
what you're asking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be asking for
A message.
Message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or
Yeah,
press
you're supposed
pound
to be
for more
asking for
options.
your police report.
Hello,
Detective
Mrs.
Brown.
Jacobs. This is James Campbell, and I'm calling you in regards to a theft that had taken place of the tune of $14,000 that is missing, that was stolen from me. And I was having a Brooklyn Park detective investigating the situation, and I believe she dropped the ball. Her name is Mrs. Diane Brown. She's with the Brooklyn Park Police Department. Now, I spoke to Mrs. Brown and I told her that I had some evidence disproving that the attorney that helped facilitate this theft, if she needed the information, I would give it to her. Mrs. Brown abruptly closed the case, and I haven't heard anything from Mrs. Brown since. So I'm looking forward to hearing from one of my representatives. I am a Brooklyn Park resident, and I'm trying to get some kind of closure on this matter. Thank you, and have a very prosperous Thanksgiving. My number where I can be reached, Mrs. Jacobs, is 612-715-5116. Thank you, and have a very prosperous Thanksgiving. Today is November the 22nd, Wednesday, and I'm about to call City Council Member Mark Matta, M-A-T-A.
The number or code you have dialed is incorrect.
Is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mr. Mark Matta, my name is James Campbell, and I'm a resident of Brooklyn Park. I am calling in regards to some information that is not being given to me and the investigation in a theft of 2 checks that were stolen from me by an attorney by the name of Frank Levin. And the young lady that was supposed to be handling this investigation, her name is Mrs. Diana Brown. She's with the Brooklyn Park Police Department Investigation Unit. Mrs. Brown has completely just dropped this situation, and I told Mrs. Brown, and she put it in her previous report, that I had evidence that can prove that the theft took place, but she never asked or did she ever consult with me to get that information. So I'm just trying to reach out to my council persons so I can try and bring some closure in this matter. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. My phone number is 612-715-5116. Thank you.
Hi, this is Bob Maida. I'm not available to take your call right now, so
This is
please
Bob.
leave a detailed message after the tone. Thank you.
Maida.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mr. Bob Maida, my name is James Campbell. I'm trying to reach out to my council person. I am a Brooklyn Park resident. I have a theft that took place in the tune of $14,000 twice from an attorney, and the Brooklyn Park police officer lady, Mrs. Diana Brown, was investigating the case. Mrs. Brown is withholding information from me, and Mrs. Brown refuses to contact me to get the evidence that I have against this gentleman. You can reach me at 612-715-5116. Thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'm calling on this November the 22nd of Wednesday, 2017. I'm about to call Terry Parks, Brooklyn Park City Council person.
Sorry, Terry Parks is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you're finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mrs. Parks, my name is James Campbell. I am a resident of Brooklyn Park, and I am calling you in regards to a theft investigation of two stolen checks at the tune of $14,000 apiece. And Mrs. Brown from the Brooklyn Park Investigations Unit, her name is Diana Brown, that is correct. And Mrs. Brown, I stated to her that I had the evidence that she needed to bring a little more closer closure to this situation. Mrs. Brown refuses to even call me back to ask me for that information. You can contact me at 612-715-5116. I'm looking forward to hearing from you as my counsel person. Thank you. I'm about to call Mrs. Susan Faw. P-H-A is her last name spelling, and she is a Brooklyn Park City Councilwoman. So I'm about to give her a jingle.
Sorry, Susan Faw is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Mrs. Susan Faw, my name is James Campbell. I'm calling you in regards to a theft that took place against me. I had $14,000 that was stolen from me in two forms of a check. Mrs. Diana Brown from the Brooklyn Park Police Department was investigating the case. Mrs. Brown has not gotten back with me, and I believe Mrs. Brown is deliberately withholding information, and she has not gotten back with me on this matter. I'm still waiting to hear from her. I told her, and she also put it in her preliminary police report, that I did have evidence. Mrs. Brown has not gotten back with me to get that information, and I believe she just blew me off and closed the case. My home number is 612-715-5116. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Goodbye.
All right. Hold on. Lisa Jacobs.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, I just wanted to reach back to you and let you know that I'm waiting for word back from the police chief. When you called me on Wednesday, I was in Seattle visiting my children for Thanksgiving, which was on Thursday. I came back to town and, obviously the city wasn't open on Friday.
Exactly.
We've just had the weekend, and now I've asked for, hang on one second. And so I did forward on a message because obviously I don't have any information regarding this. And so I forwarded that on to the police chief and the city manager. And so I'm waiting for them to let me know from their end what they know. Because obviously this happened a while ago and I wasn't on the council or have no knowledge of this. So I will call you back once I have an answer to that. But that's why you haven't heard from me, because it was a holiday.
Okay, I understand that, ma'am.
Okay? Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. I'll be giving you a call back.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello?
Hi there, Mr. Campbell?
Yes?
This is Mark Maida with the City of Brooklyn Park. I'm the Central District City Council member. You had left me a couple of messages to get back to you about a situation.
Yes, I believe that the Brooklyn Park Police Department is withholding information in regards to some money that I had stolen from me from a nefarious attorney over in Minneapolis.
Okay, when I got your message a little bit on that, I'm thankful for giving me some of the information you did. I had contacted the city manager and ended up talking to the police chief on this. That's how my role has to go. And I've been given one of the deputy chiefs for Brooklyn Park to his number to give to you for you to contact him and talk to him. His name is Mark Bruley. Deputy Chief Mark Bruley. I can spell you his name and give you his direct number.
Okay. And his last name is?
His last name is It's Mark, M-A-R-K.
Mm-hmm.
Last name Bruley, B-R-U-L-E-Y.
Mm-hmm. And that number?
Well, I was trying to pull up an email with his number. So if you can stay on the phone with me, I'm gonna get into an email, and then I'm gonna get his number for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that you can call directly to him. Otherwise, you can call through the city and get a prompt phone number to get to him. But let me get you his direct number.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get you his direct number so that I can give it right to you. Okay, I'm just getting to a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you on your situation. I'm just I have no authority over any of that stuff. I got to kind of pass it through the city manager. So I have an old number for Mark Brewer, but I know they just sent me a new number, so I wanted to make sure I give you that. So,
and just what is this Mr. Bueller's position?
He's the deputy police chief
for Brooklyn Park.
For Brooklyn Park, yes.
And what is his stance on this situation? I mean, where is he coming from? Because, see, I'm just now hearing about him coming into the picture now.
I don't know. I don't know his stance on that.
Mm-hmm. Did you read my, excuse me, did you read my ICR report that came back from Detective Mrs. Brown?
I don't think I had any of that information. I know I just had your phone call. What was sent to me was your voicemail into my voicemail.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's what I got.
What I would appreciate for you to do, sir, if you can go back and get my ICR. You got a pen handy, right?
I have a pen handy, yes.
My ICR number is 000-43430. It was done by Detective Janetta Brown. Mrs. Brown basically...
Hold on a second. Say it again. Janetta Brown?
Yes, Mrs. Janetta Brown. B-R-O-W-N. Mrs. Brown basically allowed the attorney to talk to her and basically just blow the whole situation off as if though this is some kind of a joke. What he has done, he has created a serious, colossal of messing up. Now, what he has done is he created a federal catastrophe, and he has been working behind the scenes. He's been shadowing me, even though he no longer works for me. Mr. Levin, Frank Levin, here's what he stated. I was contacted back. Now, this is what she states. Mrs. Brown states that when she talked to Mr. Levin, this is what he told her. I contacted back by Mr. Levin, who stated the following. He should be filing a claim if he believes there is misconduct in this case to the Social Security Administration because they are expertise and know what lawyers can and can't do in these cases. Mrs. Brown, at that point, let him give her that little sentence, and then she says she's closing the case. Even though she stated in this report clearly that I had evidence that he did me wrong. She didn't ask me for the evidence. She didn't ask me to come and bring it to her. And Mrs. Brown spoke to me on numerous occasions. So that doesn't sound like nobody's minding the store, and it seems like they're playing games. It's the good old boy network game, the old racist institution game. You know, we keep going around the vinegar jug and going around the vinegar jug on this matter here. And let me tell you something, sir. This is going to come back and hit everybody in the face because everybody keeps passing the buck. Now, if there was such a gentleman by the name of Mr. Mark Brewer or whatever he is, in whatever capacity he works in, why am I just now hearing about him?
He's the one that the city manager has given me to have you contact to give all your information to so that we can look into this information.
I gave him all of the information. The information that I have, sir, it's prudent, it's dangerous, It's very, very, very important. And if I was to sit down with you, Mrs. Brown, and this Mr. Bruler, you guys' hair would stand on your head like Don King, because it's 2 hours, 11 seconds, and 9 minutes of Mr. Levin's debacle. Mr.
Right,
Levins
but
had
Mr.
pulled...
Campbell, as a city council member, I'm trying to give you I'm giving you the ability to say, contact Deputy Chief Mark Bruley. You have to go through him first because he's got the information that we'll need to deal with that can help you out.
What information does he have for me? What information does he have for me that he doesn't already have from Detective Brown if they've done their investigation? And if she closed this case? And she knew that I had evidence. I told her I had my own evidence.
I'm just told that if I can get a hold of you, if I can get a hold of you on the phone, which I did, to see if I can get you in contact with Mark Bruley. Mark Bruley's with he's very high. He's the number 2 in command of the Brooklyn Park Police Department. Mm-hmm. And if something's been handled wrong, we need to go through him so he can either discipline or find out how the case happened. Anything he can do there, that's where we have to start. And I want to try to pass you on the name so you have a place to start.
She never gave me the private information on this ICR. She's been withholding it, and she gives me bits and pieces of it. So if we're going to talk about fair, we need to first of all talk about, let's be on the straight up and up transparency. No holding back, no holding information, and there needs to be some transparency here.
Right, but
and I'm not getting that from Mrs. Brown. I didn't get
any information. All right, Mrs. Brown is low. Detective Brown is lower. She's way lower down the chain. Mm-hmm. I'm getting high up in the police department. Okay.
Okay. Now, what is Mr. Bruler's number?
His number is 763.
763.
493.
493.
8304.
8304. Now, it's only you. You're the only gentleman, along with Mrs. Jacobson, who contacted me back.
Okay.
I haven't heard from Terry Parks, Susan Fong, Richie Gates. I guess he's so busy working other jobs, he never could get back with me. His mother said that I guess he's still at home with Mom, so he's working so many jobs. I'm still trying to figure out. We got a lot of absentee city council members. This is the first time I ever heard this. Yeah,
I can tell you that Bob Maida, I happen to know him because he's also my father. Lives in a different area of Brooklyn Park, and he's on the west side. Mm-hmm. He told me he tried to leave you a message, but they haven't got a call back. So
what is his number?
Now, what I want to do is I want to give you Mark Bruley's number to make sure, and you just read it back to me correctly. 763 493 8304.
That is correct.
Yep.
Now, your dad's number is 763 315 8442. Am I correct?
If I told you, I don't even know what my council number is because they automatically come into my email.
Oh.
When you call, your voice message goes into an email box, and then I can play your message from that. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know what my voicemail message. I don't even know what my phone number is because I never call it. Mm-hmm. Does that make? I know it's kind of difficult to think, but that's trying to simplify. So when people call, it goes right to my email, and I can get it then.
Yeah, because you never knows your phone number because you never called it.
and it's a city number, so I never worry about calling myself the city and leaving messages. Mm-hmm. It's not like my house number, my home number, where I need to know it because I got to call home. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I know that. One, thank you very much for answering for me, and two, if there's anything I can do to help, by all means, I want to help. But I think in some cases like this, where they're either a police matter, whether it be civil or whatnot, some of that stuff I as a city official can't help you with. It's more the court's got to deal with it. And if you had a problem with your neighbor mowing their lawn, or you want to build something on a garage, you know what I mean? Those are things I deal with. Your taxes, I deal with that.
Yeah, this is a criminal matter, not a civil matter.
This needs to be
that's why I'm directing you. That's why I'm directing you to the police department. Mm-hmm. And just so you know, I have got information from the police chief that says that Mark Bruley, deputy chief, Mark Bruley, is going to be handling your case. So have you contact him, and he's way above this Janetta Brown, who's a detective. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to make sure you call him. He's probably not there now, but if you call him tomorrow, you can tell him that Councilmember Mark Mena sent you to him. Okay? So he knows he knows. I'm going to email him as soon as we're done talking that I spoke to you and I've given you his number. So he knows you're calling, so he can be prepared when you call to make sure that he can help you out with any information you need.
Okay, Mr. Matter, I appreciate that 200%. And if I have any glitches, I guess I can't get back with you because this is a matter that you're not really involved.
No, here's what I'll tell you, Mr. Campbell. I've been elected by the Central District people of Brooklyn Park. I don't know where you live, and as long as you say you're a Brooklyn Park resident, I personally don't care where you live. Because even though I was elected in the Central District, if somebody in the East or West needs my help, you know what? It's not a full-time job; it's a council job. So I also have my office building in Brooklyn Park. So I don't mind driving to someone's house, working an issue out. You know what I mean, and helping them any way I can. You can definitely call me back and say, you know what, Mark, Deputy Chief Bruley helped me out, or Deputy Chief Bruley was a piece of artwork.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The best I can do is help you, but there's a point where I can't help you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If it's a criminal case, as a council member, I don't have no power there. I can't go in front of a judge. I can't tell the police what to do.
Exactly.
I have no power there. I'm an elected official. On city business, I can help you.
Yeah, I think the city council is the legislative policy body for the city and changes with providing overall leadership for the city by enacting laws and allocating city resources for programs and services and activities, right?
Not laws, but policies, procedures, and ordinances.
Oh, they scrapped that law part out, huh? They took that away from you, huh? No teeth, huh?
Well, the laws are the next elected. That's for Republican Democrats. That's legislature and Senate deal with laws.
And we got a mess up there too. So I guess I don't think I'm going to be getting anything done in that direction.
Yeah. Higher up in government, in the state capitol, where the legislators and the senators work, and then you got Washington D.C. So at those levels there, they enact laws. I just do ordinances, which are city code kind of, on how we operate in Brooklyn Park. And I can't change a law that says here's a state law, like let's say speeding. I can't say that speeding is going to be okay in Brooklyn Park and we're not going to do nothing about it. That's a state law.
Well, let me ask you this here, Mr. Matter. What do you guys do about landlords that are operating in a unorthodox way and not going by the city guidelines? Do you handle that too as well?
What I do is we have a department that will help work with that. We've kind of created that this last year on landlords that are creating adverse conditions for their residents. Yeah. And if you have a property that is creating an adverse condition, I would definitely need to have your name, number, and the property address. I'm assuming if you're a tenant there. And what I do is I'm kind of the messenger. I'm the big top cheese. And when I come and pass to the city manager has to work my situation. I give it to him and say, okay, city manager, I got a complaint about this apartment complex doing this to its residents, or for at least this one resident. Then what happens, the city manager takes that complaint, he brings it to his city staff. His staff in that department of housing authority will go out, they'll investigate, and they'll either say, okay, we have these findings, and now we're correcting the behavior, or they find nothing. So those are two things. So if you have something, by all means, if you tell me where about you live, I can tell you which district you're in, and that council member should help you. But it shouldn't matter. You can call city staff. You can go into the city hall, and you can say, I have a bad landlord and I'm renting. Who do I talk to? The lady at the front desk will help direct you to who you should talk to, and they will help you. Trust me, they're there to work for you. So if you have a place of concern, by all means, let me know where it is. And if you want to remain anonymous, I can make it happen because I always tell everybody, I will go there as if I'm making the complaint, but I can't see the complaint. And what I do is I protect you, because once you put your name down, it becomes public data.
Exactly. And that's when the retaliation comes in.
Well, I hope that nobody retaliates, but I'm going to say I understand that game. You know what I mean? I've seen the game happen in different places where I reported something, and because I reported it, now somebody's coming back after me. Now next thing you know, they're looking at my garbage cans, and they're looking at my grass, and how many cars are in my drive? Now I'm like, wait a minute here.
Yeah.
So I trust me, I fight against a lot of the what I call evil behavior, and but sometimes I can't win.
Overt corruption.
There's some stuff happens. If I find it, I'm gonna be all over it.
Okay.
So if you ever want to call back and just leave the property, it takes a little bit of time, because I'll tell you this: government is a slow-moving animal.
I can see.
It's just slow. I mean, I like to go up at council and say, hey, I want to change this right now. It's going to take a year before that even changes. Because it has to go through this process and that process, and it's the checks and balances, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was experiencing some retaliatory treatment behind this here, me coming over to file this complaint in the first place from my landlord. And let me give you a little bio. He's well known. He has his own dirty web page. It's called, his name is Joe Noonan. He runs TMC Management Company.
Hold on, TMC?
Yep. TMC Management Company. The website is called The Ripoff Report. And you ought to see some of the complaints that the tenants have. And I've experienced some of his heavy-handedness. I'm going through a situation right now because all of this encompass me getting mistreated where I live at. And there was a young lady who I don't know her name, but I can tell you right now, she works over there in the Brooklyn Park Police Department, and when you come over there and you file a complaint, she gets on the phone behind the scenes and call the landlords and tell them what's going on and who the person is that's complaining. And then the retaliation starts. And this is a middle-aged Caucasian woman. And she thinks she's very slick.
I hope that doesn't happen, but
that has happened.
Can you give me the?
That has happened, sir. Sir, that has happened. Now, what I would like for you to do, I would like for you to look at that webpage. It's called the Ripoff Report, TMC Management, and study the complaints that the tenants have left on that report. And look, this gentleman operates property all across country, but he is really spiraling out of control here in Brooklyn Park because he has property.
Tell me the property in Brooklyn Park we're talking about. What's the property name?
6281 Louisiana.
6281
Louisiana Avenue.
He's got a lot of violations right now.
He's got a lot of violations right now that he's being slow walked by the inspectors to correct. And the fire department. His name is property owner Joe Noonan. He lives in Brooklyn Park.
No, I've got enough information for me to pass off without your name, and I'm going to not pass to the police department. It's going to go to our code enforcement department. We have a special group that we're putting in charge of some of these areas where we think there's violations happening.
Now, let me explain this to you, Mr. Maddock. Just let me give you just a wee bit of insight before you get off the phone. This gentleman had a gentleman that lived in another building right in back of the building where he moved him out of once he got in a drug meth raid. He was supposed to be put out. Do you know when I came over there to file this report and I brought it to
Schmidt.
Police Officer Schmidt, he told me that gentleman was involved in a raid and he didn't know. He found it appalling that he was in a meth drug raid and he still lives on this property.
Wow.
Now, let me tell you what he did. When I filed this complaint about my money, you know what that gentleman did? He sicked that individual on me. His name is Aaron Ritchie.
And his
girlfriend. And they climbed up on my porch and stole 2 bicycles. And that police officer that was bringing my attention to this stated to me that there's such thing as a safe at home. Joe Noonan is violating the Safe at Home Act.
Well, let's start with the Bruley, and then I'm going to turn in this property address as something where the tenants kind of go over, or the city goes over, maybe asking some of the tenants, hey, how are things over there? How are the conditions? And doing some things like that. So let me anonymously. It'll be me asking, not you.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So that's part of my job is for me to take that the bullets in the back, to take the bow and arrows for people.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I
like
got
privacy,
plenty of Vaseline.
All right. Well, good luck to you with Mark Bruley. I'm going to send a message here tonight saying that he should be calling him.
Okay.
And again, if you want to call back and let me know how things went, otherwise, I hope he's helpful to you. You have that option. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Campbell. Thank you very much, and let me see what I can do about the 6281 Louisiana there, that complex.
Okay. Thank you very much, and I'll keep in contact with you about the whole situation.
All right. You take care. Thank you.
You too. Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Hi, James. It's Lisa, Councilmember Jacobson.
Yes.
So I got some information for you related to what you need to do. And have you spoken ever to Deputy Chief Bruley?
No, I left him 3 messages, and to no avail. He hasn't returned my messages.
Have you left those recently? Okay. And you're using 493-8304?
That is correct.
Okay, because that's I will let the chief know that you've left multiple messages, and because that's kind of where it's at right now. There's nothing really I can do. It's a police matter, and so I will send an email to the chief and let him know what you told me today. Okay?
Okay, could you do me a favor? Could you also let him know that you stated that you didn't get the information that you needed to find out anything, right?
What do you mean?
Well, you were looking into this matter, weren't you?
What I was looking into was I was reaching out to the chief to find out from a council member's perspective, kind of what I can do. And what he stated was it's been an ongoing matter and that Chief Bruley is the one to refer you to.
But at the same time, you told me that you were going to have to look into it to see what was really going on. Did you ever get a chance to do that as a council person?
What I'm saying is there's my purview, like what I can do as a council person. What I was looking into was what I could do as a council person with the city manager and the police chief. And there's nothing as a council member that I can do. It's a police matter, and so all I can do is call you back and make sure that you had Deputy Chief Bruley's phone number, which is what I'm doing right now.
So, excuse me, so do you think that the police did their job on this matter as of this point?
Well, I don't know enough about the matter to make that distinction one way or another.
So you just took the word of the police officers and just let it go? That's basically what you're telling me.
Well, that's what they told her to do.
No, what I'm telling you is that I did what I needed to do was to reach out to the city manager and the police chief to see what I could do, and what I could do at this point was to give you Chief Bruley's phone number.
Okay.
Would you rather talk to the city manager?
Mr.
Jay Strobel.
Jay Strobel. Okay, now what did Mr. Strobel tell you?
Well, he didn't tell me anything. I spoke with the chief. I reached out to both of them. Jay referred to the chief to respond to me. So I'm just doing my part, and I know that Terry Parks has reached out as well. I'm not really sure what else you're looking for.
I haven't gotten
from
a call back.
Council member.
Excuse me, ma'am. I haven't gotten a call back from council person Terry Parks.
Okay.
So what part
he
of
stated he had called a couple of times. No. So I don't know other than that.
No, he never spoke to me.
No, I'm not saying he spoke to you. He stated that he called a couple of times and didn't reach you.
Oh, okay. So beg your pardon?
Go ahead.
I said I appreciate what you tried to do for me, Councilwoman Mrs. Jacobs.
Okay. I'm not certain what else you're looking for from me specifically. I'm not a police detective. I can't get involved in the actual police work of it. All I can do is reach out on behalf of one of my constituents, and that's what I did. If there's something else you believe that I can and should do as your council member, please let me know that.
Well, you can also start off by telling them that I do need to have this thing looked into a little more seriously. And is this all that you can do at this point? Is that basically what you're telling me?
Well, that's all that I know I can do right now. If you have some other idea of what you'd like me to try to do, I can certainly make that attempt.
Mm-hmm. So did they tell you that this was an ongoing matter?
Since 2009, yes.
Since 2009. Oh, they said this has been an ongoing matter since 2009?
From 2009.
Oh, from 2009.
Yep.
Mm. And did they specify what this derived from? This particular incident?
No. I know no details.
Oh, so this theft took place in 2009. Wow.
Well, I don't know if, like I said,
interesting.
That wasn't said to me that this theft took place in 2009. What was said to me was this is an ongoing matter from 2009. So whether the incident took place in 2009, it was reported in, I know none of the details.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Today is Wednesday, December the 20th. The time is 4:04. I'm about to call Brooklyn Park Council member Mr. Matter.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hello, Mr. Mark Matter. This is Mr. James Campbell. I would appreciate it, Mr. Matter, if you could call over to the Brooklyn Park Police Department and have them email me the information that I am requesting in my data requests for information from their police department. And I do have an email address. They know I have an email address. And would you please have them send me the information that I am requesting? Because one of the lieutenants over there, I believe it was Inspector that you and I spoke to. I believe his name was Inspector Erickson wants me to fetch this information. Why should I have to run around and get and fetch the information, and I'm on a fixed income and waste my resources when I got an email that he can send it to me? I would appreciate it, Mr. Matter, if you would please have them email me all the information, and let's cut through the chase. Thank you, and have a very positive and prosperous and safe holiday. You may call me back if you like at 612-876-1840. Goodbye.
Okay, Sunday, December 24th, 2017, 3:29 p.m. calling Bob Mata, Brooklyn Park City Council member.
Hi, this is Bob Mata. I'm not available to take your call right now, so please leave a detailed message after the tone. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Yeah, Brooklyn Park City Council member Bob Mata. This is Terry Nemmers, 320-283-5713. It's on Sunday, December 24th, 2017 at 3:12 p.m. I sent you an email to your City Council member email address. It's entitled James Campbell's Sting on Corrupt Brooklyn Park Chief of Police Craig Envaldson and City Manager Jay Strobel. Both James and I have made these audio recordings incriminating your City Manager Jay Strobel and your Chief of Police Craig Envaldson. In this bungled investigation into the theft of tens of thousands of dollars of James Campbell's money. James Campbell's a poor black person who's on welfare, and apparently your Craig Envoldson and Jay Strobel think that James doesn't deserve a legitimate investigation into the theft of his tens of thousands of dollars, which is why James Campbell recorded all sorts of incriminating conversations with the Brooklyn Park Police. And in retaliation, Craig Envoldson retaliated against James Campbell after he picked up a complaint form at Brooklyn Park Police. He started receiving this harassing phone call from your Brooklyn Park Inspector Marcus Erickson, who was telling him that James, the poor black person, could waste his valuable resources by coming down to the Brooklyn Park Police Department and come fetch this readily available free electronic public information that could easily be emailed to both James or I, which of course I submitted a data request to and received all sorts of harassment, which is in the email there. You'll get links to there's links to the information, the Chapter 13 data request. So what I really need to know is, do you want to listen to these incriminating audio recordings that both James Campbell and I made or not? Terry Nemmers, 320-283-5713. Bye. Okay. Brooklyn Park City Council member Lisa Jacobson. Sunday, December 24th, 2017, 3:34 p.m.
Sorry. Lisa Jacobson is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Brooklyn Park City Council member Lisa Jacobson. It's on Sunday, December 24th, 2017 at 3:12 p.m. I sent you an email entitled James Campbell's Sting on Corrupt Brooklyn Park Chief of Police Craig Envoldson and City Manager Jay Strobel. What James Campbell and I need to know is, do you want to listen to these incriminating audio recordings that both James Campbell and I made on our sting of your corrupt Brooklyn Park Police Department and your corrupt City Manager Jay Strobel? Now, James reported the theft of tens of thousands of dollars of his money to the Brooklyn Park Police Department, which, of course, in the police reports clearly state that the case should have been forwarded off to the FBI, but instead, magically, mysteriously, it wasn't, and apparently was never submitted to your city attorney's office for review, even though the police department admits they have no idea what these documents are all about, and that's the thing. And when James Campbell tries to file a complaint, get a complaint form from the Brooklyn Park Police Department, he starts receiving these harassing phone calls from this Brooklyn Park Inspector Marcus Erickson, who proceeds to tell poor black James Campbell, who's on welfare, to waste his valuable resources to drive down to the police department to come fetch his readily available free electronic public information that could easily been emailed to him or myself, actually, so. That's the thing, and then I made a phone call to this Marcus Erickson and left a voicemail. Then I received a harassing phone call, which of course I recorded, from your Deputy Chief, Mark Bruley, who could have easily emailed this readily available free electronic public information to both myself and to James Campbell. But instead, he was all upset that we had clear, precise, and unquestionable proof that this Marcus Erickson was trying to incite James to violence, to harass him over the phone, instead of being kind, courteous, and helpful and emailing him this readily available free electronic public information, which of course incriminates the Brooklyn Park Police Department. So that's the thing. Do you want to listen to these incriminating audio recordings or not? Terry Nemmers, 320-283-5713. Bye. Okay, Sunday, December 24th, 2017, 3:22 p.m. calling Brooklyn Park City Council member Susan Faw.
Sorry. Susan Faw is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Susan Faw, Brooklyn Park City Council member. This is Terry Nemmers, 320-283-5713. On Sunday, December 24th, 2017 at 3:12 p.m., I sent an email to your Brooklyn Park City Council member email address. It's entitled James Campbell's Sting on Corrupt Brooklyn Park Chief of Police Craig Envoldson and City Manager Jay Strobel. So both James and I have done a sting on your corrupt local officials there. They're trying to illegally withhold readily available free electronic public information from both James and myself. James recorded conversations with the Brooklyn Park Police Department when he reported the theft of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to the Brooklyn Park Police, who in their own police report said that the police should have forwarded this complaint off to the FBI, yet magically mysterious wasn't even forwarded off to the city attorney's office. So that's the situation. Now, instead of emailing both James and I this readily available free electronic public information, your chief of police, Craig Envoldson, decided to retaliate against James after he picked up a complaint form at the Brooklyn Park Police Department. He started receiving these harassing phone calls from Inspector Marcus Erickson, who told him he could come fetch this readily available free electronic public information from the police department instead of being kind, courteous, and helpful and just emailing this information. Oh, and of course I received this harassing phone call from your deputy chief of police, Mark Bruley. That was on 12/11/2017. And of course I told him I was recording the call, and geez, he got this real big attitude because I knew all sorts of things about the Minnesota Data Practice Act, and I knew that he was harassing James, trying to incite James to violence, provoking him with this harassing phone call because he told this poor black person who's on welfare to go fetch, this information instead of, the chief of police or Mr. Deputy Chief Bruley just emailing this information to the to James Campbell or myself actually. So that's the thing. Do you want to listen to these incriminating audio recordings or not? That's what I'm trying to find out. Terry Nemmers, 320-283-5713. Bye. Okay, Sunday, December 24th, 2017, 3:25 p.m., calling Terry Parks, Brooklyn Park City Council member.
Sorry, Terry Park is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hello, Terry Parks, Brooklyn Park City Council member. This is Terry Nemmers, 320-283-5713. On Sunday, December 24th, 2017 at 3:12 p.m., I sent an email to your City Council member email address. It's entitled James Campbell's Sting on Corrupt Brooklyn Park Chief of Police Craig Envoldson and City Manager Jay Strobel. James and I have all these incriminating audio recordings of, your Brooklyn Park Police, your City Manager Jay Strobel, willfully refusing to comply with the Minnesota Data Practice Act, willfully refusing to email James and I readily available free electronic public information for this botched investigation into the theft of tens of thousands of dollars of James Campbell's money. And James recorded these conversations with the Brooklyn Park Police Department, and in retaliation, your Chief Envoldson ordered, your Brooklyn Park investigator, Marcus Erickson, to make a harassing phone call to James after he picked up a complaint form at the Brooklyn Park Police Department, demanding that James come down there to the Brooklyn Park Police Department and fetch his information instead of, Mr. Erickson or Inspector Erickson emailing this readily available free electronic information to James. Of course, I received a harassing phone call from your Deputy Chief of Police, Mark Bruley, when I started confronting him on this, and your Inspector Marcus, or I received the phone call from Bruley after I left a voicemail for Marcus Erickson, which I recorded, your Mark Bruley, instead of being kind, courteous, and helpful and emailing me this information, or James Campbell, he decided to make this harassing phone call. Of course, he was trying to defend the fact that he can harass, poor black James Campbell anytime he wants, that type of thing. Wants him to go fetch this information from the Brooklyn Park Police Department, waste James Campbell's limited resources instead of, the Brooklyn Park Police Department, being kind, courteous, and helpful and emailing this information to James Campbell. So this is the thing. Do you want to listen to these incriminating audio recordings or not? That's what I really need to know. Terry Nemmers, 320-283-5713. Bye. Okay, Sunday, December 24th, 2017, 3:37 p.m. calling Rich Gates, Brooklyn Park City Council member. Hello, is this City Council member Rich Gates?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Terry Nemers. How you doing today?
Okay.
That's good. I can barely hear you. Anyhow, I sent you an email today, December 24th, 2017 at 3:12 p.m. It's entitled James Campbell's Sting on Corrupt Brooklyn Park Chief of Police Craig Envensoldson and City Manager Jay Strobel. Now, James and I have these incriminating audio recordings of recordings with the Brooklyn Park Police, Jay Strobel, and what's happened is James Campbell filed a criminal complaint for the theft of tens of thousands of dollars, and in the police report...
To stop you right now.
What?
We have been instructed to not get involved with this and that you need to deal with this through the legal process.
What does that mean?
That whatever you decide you're going to do legally, that's fine, but I am not to be involved with this as a city council member. This is not my job.
It's not your job. It's not your job to deal with misconduct of public officials, correct?
Correct, because this is not... We've already been instructed about this what's going on. And if you decide to go on a legal process that is your thing, that is not my place to get involved.
So you're not going to do an administrative investigation for your James Strobel or Jay Strobel and your Craig Envaldson, who are misusing public resources to illegally withhold readily available free electronic public information. That's what you're telling me.
That we have been instructed to not get involved in this.
So, well, that's what you're saying. You're covering up criminal activity. That's what you're telling me.
This is not my job. That is not my responsibility.
Well, you are an elected official, and you have been informed of criminal activity, and that your city employees are engaging in. And pursuant to the Minnesota Data Practice Act, it's just cause for termination of the public employee who's engaging in that criminal activity. So, what you're saying?
And again, this is a lawsuit-based
What lawsuit?
issue.
Who said it was a lawsuit?
Well, that is the only way you're going to be able to deal with this.
Well, actually, it isn't, because James Campbell can file a criminal complaint against your Jay Strobel and your chief of police for criminal activity, criminal misconduct, misuse of public resources. Those are all crimes. They can be easily reported to the Hennepin County Sheriff's Department. And you're telling me that you're
is what I'm saying. If that is what you need to do, then that is what you need to do.
Oh, so in other words,
it's not my responsibility to get involved in.
Well, actually, it is, because you're a city council member. I'm glad I'm
recording. It's not my responsibility.
I'm glad I'm recording this conversation.
I'm glad you just told me that, because you didn't tell me you were recording this.
So what?
And now you've illegally recorded me.
Really? Now
so
you're making false accusations against me.
You what?
You're making false accusations against me.
You did not tell me you were recording me.
So what? Is it illegal to record in Minnesota? Because police do it all the time.
That's a police matter. That's not my matter. But you just illegally recorded me without telling me.
Let me ask you this. Are you going to report me to the police? Are you going to file a false police report against me? You still there? Rich, you still there? Did you hang up on me, Rich?